quite a lot of blood.
Is that so?
Do you mind?
No, I'm used to it.
I think we'll let the police in on this. We'll have some law.
Yeah, why not?
Who are you, soldier?
Marlowe's my name. I'm a private detective.
Some of the traditional literature private detectives that a lot of people think of when they think of, well, private detectives, you think of Sam Spade, you think of Philip Marlowe. Easy Rawlins comes from a whole different world.
My name is Ezekiel Rawlins. Ezekiel Porterhouse Rawlins. But on top of real estate, I was also in the business of doing favors, like find a missing husband or figure out who's breaking into so-and-so store.
Black people in America haven't done much genre writing because there's been so much weight on every word that black writers have done up and through the 60s and 70s that so often we find ourselves doing cultural, social, and political tracks. I mean, I honestly do believe that we need to change the world, but at the same time I believe in having a good time, having some fun, writing things that I think people would like to read.
Now, what you gonna be doing for the Lord, Easy Rawlins?
Well, Walter Mosley is probably one of the foremost mystery writers, probably right now in the world. I mean, he's been lauded from Newsweek to Time to the Wall Street Journal to President Clinton himself as being one of the favorite mystery writers going right now.
Well, Easy Rawlins is a guy born in the Deep South in the country.
It wasn't far from his office to my house. I could have hopped a bus, but I like to use my legs, especially when I had thinking to do.
And he's used to doing favors for people. And because black people find themselves like on the edge of society, sometimes the favors that he does are not quite legal. They're not wrong, but they don't fit into the normal sense of legality. And so in doing this, he becomes a kind of private detective.
The first thing that an animal will do is sniff. If something doesn't smell right, there's a natural reluctance to get any closer. Maybe I should have been a dog.
People have already kind of built an image in their mind about Easy Rawlins.
Let's go, let's go!
When A Devil in a Blue Dress came out and Denzel played the part, there's that preconceived idea of what Easy should look like and how he should behave.
You Rollins, ain't you?
That's right.
Well, I'm Willie Sack.
I really like going into different media, you know, and seeing what happens with my characters. I look at it like that's another person's, you know, art. They've taken something of what I've presented, and they've created something new.
What do you know about communism, Mr. Rollins?
Easy. Call me Easy. That's the name I go by.
Easy. Well, I figure the Reds be one step worse than the Nazis. Unless you happen to be a Jew.
The era that takes place with the Red Death is during the McCarthy era. And the McCarthyism or the Red Scare situation is drifting into all segments of society. It's drifting into Hollywood. It's drifting into black society, white society, Jewish society. And a lot of people are very, very afraid of things that they can't touch.
Red Death is not a kitchen table type of piece. A kitchen table type of play is a play that keeps people in one little finite little box. I want our theater and the kind of work we do to begin to expand people's minds so that they go out and see that there are other things. There's a big universe out here, and they need to explore it.
What I write about is black male heroes. There are all these black men who don't exactly fit the mold of what everybody thinks black men are. Being heroic, trying to do the right thing. Failing often, but even in that failure, that's a kind of success because they tried.
Listen, son, I don't want to hurt you, but you make me do some damage to this suit, and I'm going to do some damage to you.
I'll kill
Thank you for joining us here at Take Two. It's up to me and you. Hello there, I'm Mary D., your host for today's show. We're going to take you on a journey of hope. Hope in the beauty of our history. Hope in being anyone we want to be. And hope in creating our own highway to true freedom. Through drama and audience participation, we're going to discover what helps us and our families grow. So let's watch now as a wise man challenges a desperate Rakim in the true meaning of freedom, its responsibility for building up our people, and the struggle to make it happen for oneself.
Excuse me. Do you know what time it is?
What?
Time. Time. Do you know what time it is?
9:30.
Oh, man. Where's this bus? I knew I wasn't going to get downtown in time.
What, you missing something important?
Huh? Yeah, man. Real important.
Well, don't worry about it, young brother. You'll probably catch whatever it is again.
No, you don't understand. This was my one and only chance to hear him speak.
To hear who speak?
Tommy Waddell. The Tommy Waddell. The information minister for the black survivors back in the 60s and early 70s. Now, come on, old man. You're going to sit there and tell me you don't remember Tommy Waddell and the black survivors as bad as that brother was?
Well, my memory is not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, man. Well, I used to listen to some old record albums of that guy's speeches that my mother used to keep in the basement. Even some of the biggest rappers used pieces of him in their videos.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, that brother was down even way back then. He wasn't scared of nobody, no matter how many police dogs or high-pressurized water hoses they turned on him.
Now, what you said this guy's name was again?
Waddell.
Waddell.
Tommy Waddell.
Yeah.
And tonight was his first public appearance since he got let out of prison last night. Yeah. And I missed it.
Well, like I said, maybe you'll catch him again.
I don't know, man. I mean, the brother spent 18 years in prison on some trumped-up charges. He never gave no interviews or nothing.
Never?
No. I mean, the brother was cold-blooded. And even after the judge cut him loose, he walked straight out of the courtroom, right past those TV cameras, and didn't say a word.
Yeah.
I can't believe you never heard of him or the black survivors.
Well, I've been away for a while.
Man, you must have been on the moon, man. I mean, if you want to hear a brother speak the truth.
And what is the truth, young brother?
Well, the truth is how we black people, I mean, we ain't never gonna be free as long as the white man keep us down. And we ain't never gonna get nowhere because we all still slaves. And, oh, man, it figures. I gotta make this connection. There ain't no phone around. Hey, old man, you know where I can find a phone around here?
No.
Man, I gotta be a double loser tonight. First, I missed my man's speech. Now I'm gonna lose homeboy unless I find a phone like now.
Is that the business that you had to take care of?
Well, hey, man, when times get hard, business starts jumping for some crazy reason. I don't know, I guess people gotta try to forget what the man's doing to them one way or the other.
You think this Tommy Waddell would approve of your business?
Well, he'd understand. He'd understand why I gotta sell this stuff. I mean, now, if I was born uptown like them white boys, you know, maybe I wouldn't have to do this to make a living.
So you sell drugs because you can't get a job.
Man, ain't no jobs.
Have you tried?
Ain't no jobs out there, man. I'm telling you. All you got to do is watch TV or read the newspaper, man, and see they trying to put us all right back into slavery.
Ah, you really don't believe that, do you?
What?
You don't really believe that the only reason that black men ain't free is because the white man keeps us down? And that we can never be responsible for our own destiny.
It's a proven fact, old man.
Brother, white people outnumber you in this country 4-1. So if what you say is true, we'll always be slaves. What are we going to do about it?
Do?
How are you going to respond to that situation? You see, it's one thing to blame somebody else for your own shortcomings, but it's another to look for a way out.
Well, what if there ain't no way out? I mean, I don't see the white man becoming extinct anytime soon.
You really don't like black people, do you?
Man, what in the world are you talking about?
Well, it just seems to me that anyone who sells drugs to his own people can't possibly care about their welfare.
Now look, Pops, I'm as down for black people as anybody around here. I mean, even the clothes I wear advertise where my head is at. I'm a walking billboard for the struggle, man.
Fighting for freedom means more than wearing the right T-shirt. You have to work for it, starting inside here.
Oh, man, you starting to sound like a preacher.
Don't change the subject. I get upset when anybody tries to create a roadblock on the highway to freedom.
Well, me too.
You're a liar. If you really felt that way about black people, you wouldn't put yourself in the role of being their oppressive slave owner, using drugs as a whip and a junkie's habit as his chains.
Well, look, man, if they didn't get it from me, they just get it from somebody else. Why not get it from one of their own?
Is this what we marched and bled for back in the 60s? To tear down Jim Crow, just so you could come back 30 years later and commit interracial suicide. To have you spit on the memories of thousands who died for civil rights by becoming an entire generation of young dopeheads and pushers.
Well, man, if the white man wasn't keeping me down, well, we wouldn't have to sell this stuff.
Brother, I'm sick and tired of you young boys laying down this black victimism job as an excuse for not working. To be the best you can be regardless of who or what stands in your way. Stop it. Just stop it. No more excuses. No more self-pity. The white man has nothing to do with you being a slave in 1993. So don't go blaming somebody else for you selling drugs to my people. You sell drugs because you want to. Period. It's nobody's fault but yours. The white man has nothing to do with you being free. You stopping your own self from being free.
Yeah, how can you talk about the white man that way after what he's done to me and my people?
To get respect, you have to give it, right? So respect him as much as you want him to respect you.
Respect him?
Yeah.
The same white man that kidnapped my ancestors, that lynched my grandfather, that dropped napalm and Agent Orange on Vietnam. That's the same white man you want me to respect?
Who is it that makes young black boys kill each other over football jackets and basketball shoes? Is it the white man who forces our young black brothers out on street corners, selling crack, cocaine to the same brothers and sisters they claim as their own people? How many white people do you see leading black gangs in nightly drive-by shootings? No, son. The first step towards real freedom is to look inside yourself for self-healing.
Real freedom?
Yeah, real freedom. Like the freedom of rediscovering the beauty of our ancestry. I remember when we had freedom just by thinking it and acting free. Not because it was a fad or we saw it in our latest rap video.
Nah, look, man, I'm down, straight up.
Young brother, you've helped turn the grassroots movement of the 60s into the minstrel shows of the 90s. Young brother, you've turned our neighborhoods into crack-soaked streets where people are getting shot for wearing the wrong T-shirts. You've helped transform our youth, young brother, into mindless dopeheads and junkies who have no respect for the black family or black history. And you stand there and talk about freedom for black people. You know, in my day, we could tell who the enemy was just by walking down the street and looking in their faces. But today it doesn't matter what color you are, does it? A Klansman is still a Klansman.
Look, man, I ain't got to stand here and listen to this.
No, you don't have to stand here and listen to any of this. You've got an appointment to keep. Don't you, my brother?
You got a lot of nerve. You know that, old man? Just who do you think you are, huh? Just who do you think you are?
I'm Tommy Waddell.
Well, welcome to Take Two. It's up to me and to you. I'm Mary D., your host for the program. Take Two's message is one of hope. Hope in the African-American family, in whatever form it may take. Now, hope that is a community affair. No one really makes it alone, right? Well, that's because it's up to me and to you. We're delighted that all of you can join us for a very special half hour that will take us on a journey of hope into the heart and soul of the African-American community and its sense of family that has traditionally been the bonds that hold us tight. So watch closely as through live drama and audience participation, we engage in lively conversation and where some of your own questions and concerns will be addressed. Now, today's drama reenacts the theme of the black male image, the image that is projected by the black male himself, and the one that may be accepted uncritically by others. So let's watch as Cassandra and Vicky reminisce about a tragic love relationship that disintegrates before their very eyes.
Girl, and he left me at Dejois talking about, I'm gonna go get the car. I stood out there in the cold for 2 hours.
But girl, you know they all a trip, and all of them are dogs, every one of them.
Tell it, girl.
So I told Mr. Billy D. Williams wannabe, just because you driving your daddy's BMW and finally bought yourself a suit that fit, does not mean you can just walk back into my life like Fred Astaire. Honey, you gotta work hard to get back into this girl's heart.
Cassandra, stop. You are terrible.
Girl, you know it.
Well, did you hear about Arnell's fiance?
Who, Guinea? Mr. F-I-N-E-M-B-A?
Yeah.
Ooh, that fine black mandingo man with his fine chest.
Yeah, that's him. Well, you know they found him dead last week of a drug overdose.
You got to be kidding. That fine brown frame? Wait a minute, I thought he had such a good job working downtown.
Girl, he lost that job over a year and a half ago.
You got to be kidding.
No, well, I heard he was stealing money from his company and tried to pay it back before he got caught. And that's when it all started. Claimed he was innocent. But if he was, he would have just got another job, right?
That's right, I stole the money. And I'm proud of it, too. All that crap they put me through, passing me over for promotions in favor of some snotty-nosed white boys that I helped train and develop. Throwing all that lame, unfunny ethnic humor around the office. That's right, I stole that money. They owed me that much, if not more. Oh, and the way it went down, man, was beautiful. I ran all that cash through 7 accounts from their own computer into a blind account of my own. Well, I had to get paid somehow. I was up to my neck in bills. My credit cards were all maxed out. My bank account was almost down to nothing. And you know you can't wear no Sears suits and no Fortune 500 company. Now, if you expect to get bumped upstairs, you can't. You got to dress to impress. But look, how far do you think $50K a year is going to take you anyway? Look, it was either steal money that should have been rightfully mine anyway, or